This is a gentle reminder that we made it all up. We as humans have invented nearly all of the structures, rules, titles, and awards that we put on paper and all kinds of physical symbols to represent them. Every rank, medal, and ribbon in the military is a made-up title with made-up criteria. The value of money and all things you can buy with it is part of the human-made economy. If enough of the right humans agreed to change it, it would be done rapidly. Every point scored in every form of every sport is an intangible, fictional value assigned by people. There's nothing inherently valuable about putting a basketball through a hoop, but in the late 1800s, we decided to give people 1 or 2 points for doing it during a game. Nearly 2 centuries later, we decided when players did it from far enough away, they should get 3 points. It's not just points, though. Blocks, bunts, steals, rebounds, goals, touchdowns, takedowns, strikes in baseball, boxing, and bowling, fumbles, runs, however the hell cricket is scored, and every other sport statistic that you can think of are made-up concepts with no inherent value in and of themselves. Michael Jordan can't redeem his 32,292 career points anywhere for anything, though he did make a lot of money doing it, which is nearly just as void of inherent value as the points themselves. The letters you may or may not have added to your name from jumping through the academic hoops required for associates, bachelor's, master's, and/or doctorate degrees are assigned by institutions we made up. We can pat ourselves on the backs for these make-believe milestones, but that's exactly what they are. They're fictional representations of all kinds of different actions with less consistency than most people realize. You can talk to 10 people with PhDs in most subjects and find a fascinating variety of opinions and philosophies among them, even though they're likely to agree on the core principles of their field. Any NFL team that wins the Super Bowl would have almost certainly lost if their starting quarterback got sick or injured the week of the game. Entire outcomes of such competitions would radically sway if we ended them just 15 minutes sooner or later than expected. That's how fragile some of these made-up titles can be. It's also worth noting that made-up test scores and titles we achieve have a serious shelf life, as some of them may only be accurate for a brief stint of time. Most college students study at great length and or great strain for challenging final exams, and due to those efforts, most of them pass the exams. We consider that to mean they have mastered the material and are officially competent in that subject. But if you gave them the exact same test just 1 week later with no time to re-memorize the material, how well would they do? What if you gave it to them a month later or 2 months later? Actual studies on this subject have confirmed what you probably suspect. Test takers' abilities to pass an exam suffers greatly shortly after they finish the test. The NBA Finals is contested over a best-of-7 games, but what if it weren't? What if we determined the NBA championship with just 1 game like they do in the NFL? What if they played to the best of 9, 11, or 21 games instead of 7? Would the outcome be the same every time? We know the answer to be no, because the team to win the first game isn't always the team to win the first 4. When a 29-year-old man receives his black belt in jiu-jitsu, he is recognized as a black belt for the rest of his life. There's no periodic assessment to determine if he's still capable of performing jiu-jitsu at the same level. When he's 99, he's still a black belt. Nobody takes it away from him despite the objective fact that he's not capable of the same physical or mental performance in jiu-jitsu at 99 as he was when he was 7 decades younger. On the other side of the coin, there are people of remarkable intellect who go unrecognized for it because they didn't have the inclination, desire, resources, or opportunities to be formally educated. There are people talented enough to play sports at a professional level who didn't have the grades, behavior, or other opportunities required to reach that level. Now, there are some statistics worthy of our attention and respect, but they're few and far between. The main one I'd encourage you to pay attention to is time. Humans have come up with units to measure the passage of time, and those units deserve our respect because time is the only thing any of us truly have. And whether it's a blessing or a curse, most of us don't know for sure how much of it we have. Imagine if you had to keep a budget of your money without knowing for sure how much of it you had. You have a pretty good idea that you have enough to get you to the end of the month, but at any point your bank account could hit 0, and it's game over. You'd run a serious risk of not spending money you could have while also constantly risking wasting money you didn't have to. That's how every minute of time we have works, but we rarely think of it that way. You can chase all of the dollars, titles, records, and other achievements that humans made up to make other humans feel important all you want. At the end of the day, though, the only thing that any of us have is time, until that's gone too. Just a gentle reminder.